Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's DSP with STS with DSP. So many acronyms. Hey man, it's Dave Scott Peters. I'm so glad you're here for today's Friday. It's Shoot the Shit with DSP. I'm DSP. I'd love to hear where you are, who you are. Give me a good morning. We got some of you joining as we speak. Um, I was I was almost late for my own shoot the shit. I, we don't change our clocks in Arizona. I'm sitting here on my computer screwing around trying to go live to YouTube directly because I haven't had time in the last week to start playing around with it instead of using this other software that's giving me this fuzzy look. And man, I tell you what, next thing you know, I have this epiphany. Hey, there was a time change. Oh shit. Speaking of shoot the shit, oh shit. I mean, I got up this morning. I got up at 3:45 in the morning. I did warm up and did an erg test. Uh, was down to the gym, had breakfast leisurely, come up here, work on my stuff for today's topic, come to the computer. And the next thing you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to get ready for this thing. And I had about 15 minutes to spare. So I'm really glad I'm here and I didn't forget about you. Vapor X is in the house. We've got a good morning, good morning, true believers. Amen. I appreciate you. Mary DeLeon is in the house, bangs and all. Good to have you, Mary. I'm glad you are here to shoot this shit with me. Um, we got a bunch of you that are joining. Make sure you're logged into your Google account so you can participate in the chat because we are live here on YouTube. And we'll get started here in just a second. Love to get a couple more of you to give me a good morning to know that you're hanging around. Here we go. There's always a delay. Savage Era, you were here last week. Good morning. It is good to have you. And I've forgotten your name. I'm so sorry. I do my best. Oops. What did I do here? We got Ryan is in the house. Ryan has said stoked for this weekend. What's going on this weekend? St. Patty's Day for you. You are going to make big time sales this week. Can't wait for you. Oh, what am I doing here? There we go. I'm hitting all these buttons. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. It's I got to whip out the glasses here. Well, why don't we get started with our shoot the shit and we will get back to, remember, you've got questions. We'll get to you. So let's switch this. I forgot to do this last week, a little closer. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. SDS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming week and get excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula and your coach. Today, we're talking about something could completely shift the way you think about growth and success. Success leaves clues. Are you paying attention? Before we get started again, if you are just joining me, make sure you have logged into your Google account so you can participate in the chat here on YouTube. And at the end of my piece of when I'm doing my little bit of teaching and sharing and motivation, I hope, you get to ask me questions. I'm here for you. So let's get started. Hey, the Restaurant Pro, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're busting your ass in your restaurant, putting in the hours, dealing with the fires, doing all the things, yet you're still not seeing the results you want? You're not alone. But I want to hit you with a hard truth today. Success is not a mystery. It leaves clues. The problem is most people, well, are too caught up in the chaos of day to day, even to notice them. Look, over the years, I've worked with literally thousands of restaurant owners and managers. And the ones who truly achieve restaurant prosperity, freedom from your restaurant, the financial freedom you deserve, they all have a few things in common. These are the clues they leave behind for anyone willing to pay attention. Let's break them down. Clue number one, they train their team. We talk about this all the time on Shoot the Shit. They don't just throw people on the floor and hope for the best. They invest the time and teach systems, procedures, expectations. Why? Because when your team knows what success looks like, they're more likely to deliver it. Think about it this way. There's no throwing people into the fire and hoping they swim. That's how we've trained so many managers over the years is follow me for 3 days, give them a set of keys, and then tell them what they're doing wrong every single day. Who wants to work in that environment? Training is not one and done. It's ongoing and structured. And that means we learn the golden rule to training, the PPETF that I teach. We learn how to train, and that people learn auditory, tactile, visual, and the best trainings of all three. We learn that follow up and feedback are extremely important. We learn that training isn't one and done. Pre shift every single day is an opportunity to teach. Great restaurant pros teach expectations, systems, and why they matter. Right? What are my expectations? What's your JOB? What are the systems in place that you can train me on in order to reach those expectations, meet or exceed them? And then why it matters. The why is extremely important. You make change in your business, you change, you do anything you want in your business. If you don't explain the why, they tune out. Now, the goal? A team that can execute without micromanaging, you micromanaging them, I should say. That's the goal. How about clue number 2? Remember, this is what successful people, the clues they leave behind, the successful restaurateurs, the pros that truly make a difference. They run on systems. Systems, systems, systems. There's a system, a process, a way to doing anything and everything in your business. They don't run on adrenaline. They run on checklists, budgets, recipe costing cards, scheduling tools, all the boring stuff that creates freedom. Freedom comes from structure. They don't rely on adrenaline, memory, and luck, because isn't that how most of us run the business, based off of our gut feeling and the fact that we thrive on killing the chaos? Look at me, pull us out of the weeds. That is not something you can necessarily train. You can prepare people to avoid the chaos. You can prepare people to know what their job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, more importantly, by when. You can give people the tools to avoid the crazy. Everything has a process. Ordering has a process. Scheduling has a process. Inventory, you name it, there's a system, a process, a way. The key is getting it out of your head and into a training system. Now, systems create consistency, profitability, and freedom. I cannot tell you enough. I've been doing this for 22 years. This July will start 23. I was probably the very first restaurant coach that was out there. It was me and restaurantowner.com. Later came runningrestaurants.com. And then slowly some coaches and most of them marketing. Now today on the internet, you're getting bombarded by 5, 6 of us, on your feeds like, hey, Restaurant Pro, Restaurant Pro, Restaurant Pro, you want to change your world? We're here. Beautiful part is there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of restaurants. So there are coaches who can help anyone. But the fact of the matter is I was there first. I've seen so much. And I can tell you that when I started, I was the systems guy. And today I'm all about freedom. Freedom for your restaurant, the financial freedom you deserve. What I realize is the systems is just a part of the journey. It's not the main focus. If something goes wrong, the systems reveal where and why. Like when I tell you, I just had I have a live help desk every other Thursday with my group coaching members. They come on and I answer questions live. It's like a open office hours for a college professor. Hey, I'll be in my office, and I go there for 2 hours every other Thursday. And so I have no idea what's coming at me. Question after question after question. And the realization is this, that we had this discussion of systems. We started with POS system. What systems, what reports should I be looking at? How do I get my managers to understand? I shared these reports on Toast with them and so on and so forth. And I said, hey, here's a list. And I probably went on for about 15 minutes, maybe even 20, literally talking about the reports you got to have in your POS system, how they're important and so on. But then I said the real magic was taking those numbers and putting them into my systems so that you had data to make good business decisions. And that's where these systems start to reveal where your problems are. They reveal what you need to change. The systems reveal who's trained, who's not. The systems add the structure for you to be successful. How about what successful people leave behind? Those clues. Clues number three. Clue number three, they hold people accountable. How many freaking times have you heard me talk about accountability? It is the major piece of the restaurant prosperity formula. It's not enough to have systems. You have to inspect what you expect. That means holding people accountable, having the tough conversations, not letting things slide because you don't want to lose good people. Spoiler alert, if you don't follow systems, and they're not following systems, especially, they're not good people. They inspect what they expect daily. The most successful people look at what they want done. They ensure it's being done every single day. Whether it's them personally or they have someone on their team, the systems are looked at. Because when you don't look at the systems, they go away. Accountability isn't about being a jerk either, right? You've heard me how many times on my channel talk about, hey, I'm going to hold you accountable. It sounds like boom. Instead, I change it to answerable. If you know what your job is, your obligation, you decide to do your job or not, and you're answerable for the resulting consequences, that's where the magic happens. And that's where training becomes so important. It's about keeping the standards. That's what accountability is. Successful people don't ignore problems just to keep peace. Look, I get it. We don't want conflict. We're people pleasers. We're hospitality professionals. But you know what? If you train somebody and they know the expectations, it's not conflict. It's a one-on-one to ensure that the process is working. Now, you got to give feedback often and early with clarity and support. Successful people, the clue they leave behind, number four, they lead with intention. Leadership is extremely important. They don't just show up, they lead. They model the behavior they want to see. They communicate clearly, they support their managers, and they build a culture of ownership. They show up with a purpose. Think about that. Are you a restaurant pro? You hear me throw that around all the time. Right? Are you a restaurant professional? Of course you are. Restaurant pros show up every day to do their best. It doesn't mean you don't have a bad day, but you're prepared. Restaurant pros follow the systems. Restaurant pros share with others. Restaurant pros do what's right when and especially when it's hard. They don't just show up to be present. They lead with purpose. Their teams see their model, right? See them as a model to model their behavior, I should say, right? Hey, but again, I've talked about this. Sometimes do as I do is important, but where we lose that is the lead by example. Lead by example is not be your best busser, server, host, expo, line cook. It's showing up every day as a leader, using the systems, holding people accountable, training people, giving the best customer support, changing or sharing your why. It's showing up every single day. It is not being the best busser. Successful people, restaurateurs, they communicate clearly, they set expectations, and they follow through. They're not just bosses, they're leaders. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that the very first piece of the restaurant prosperity formula is you becoming the leader your restaurant needs. Are you getting fired up? I mean, think about what I'm saying. When we talk about leadership and you, are you getting fired up listening to me talk about this? Because I get fired up. Because that is the key. The key to all of this leadership, it doesn't matter. The rest of the formula doesn't matter. If you don't become the leader your restaurant needs, none of it matters. How about the clue they leave behind, number 5? They take action. My father had a phrase, says ideas are cheap. It's the people who put them into action that are priceless. Ideas are cheap. It's the people who put them into action that are priceless. I wholeheartedly believe that. I've got a tattoo that has take action on it. I've got my truck has Taka Seaton. If you ask my kids, it says take action. My company, my corporate name, not davidscottpeters.com, my company is Take Action Enterprises LLC. I am somebody who does not sit back. I would rather, as an entrepreneur, say fire, ready, set, aim, make some mistakes. I can course correct, but I take action. You need to take action, not think about things. Maybe the biggest clue of all, again, these successful people, they just don't listen to advice, they implement it. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I talk to people who I want to share the advice and they give me 800 excuses why it won't work in their restaurant. Instead of just trusting and putting it in place. Successful people, my most successful members, do buy in. Doesn't mean we didn't have a little bit of turmoil in the beginning and to learn to trust me. But they implement fast, even when it's not perfect, and that's key. Even if it's uncomfortable, that's key. They don't wait for permission. They get moving. They don't wait for the perfect moment to put in. Like, how many times have you said to yourself, well, I might start with David and his coaching program, but we're going into season. What the shit is that? You're just busier. A restaurant is a restaurant, whether you're slower or busier, it's still the same things have to get done on a daily basis. Successful people don't throw up excuses. I'm going into season. They move fast and course correct later. And that's the key. You know, it's like the owner when we talk about changing their menu, like, oh my God, David, you want me to get rid of XYZ product that sells 2 a day? I'm like, yes, get rid of it. Oh, I'm gonna have so much pushback. Da-da-da. I said, well, then if you get that much pushback, which you won't because the numbers show me, but let's say you do, you can freaking reprint the menu tomorrow. We can add it back. See, as entrepreneurs, take action. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't be aim. Oh, I can't fire. It's not perfect yet. Aim. Oh, I can't. Aim, and then fire. How many of you on this live right now have been circling, at 30,000 feet around what I do in my coaching program and thought maybe next year time, maybe I'll go to the seminar. Maybe I'll wait for the perfect time. Maybe it's not me as a coach. Maybe it's another. Oh, maybe I could use a coach. Maybe. And you keep thinking about right time and you aim and you never take action. You never pull the trigger. Nothing changes. That can't happen anymore. The successful restaurateurs, they don't sit on good advice. They implement it. They embrace being uncomfortable if it means growth. And growth is uncomfortable because you're going from not knowing something to knowing it. That's the part that's hard. Action is literally the difference between learning and doing. Now, where do most restaurant pros, where do they get stuck? They think they're so unique that none of this applies. You got to be freaking kidding me. We are in the hospitality business. I don't care if you're a quick serve pizza place, you're a fine dining steakhouse, anything in between. The reality is it's all about people and product. That's what we do. Hospitality, great hospitality. We create memories. But whether the envelope is different, what you serve, how you serve it is different. The reality is we do the same exact freaking thing when it comes to the numbers. Ordering food on budget, scheduling on budget, having a budget, marketing, it's all the same. It's just what it looks like is different. So don't tell me this shit doesn't apply to you. They tell themselves they're too busy. I'm too busy to step back and look for those clues. Like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. You are killing snakes every single day. Crisis. And you're in there 8, 10, 12 more hours a day. Exhausted. And what'd you do? You did your manager's job. You did line employee's job. You didn't do your job as an owner. Managers, you do the same thing. You do all your line employees' jobs and get to the end of the week and go, I worked so hard to put in 80 hours this week and I didn't get anything done. I can't believe, owner, you want me to put some of these systems in place. Well, stop doing other people's jobs. Teach them. Hold them accountable. Delegate. Be a coach. Make them feel valued and appreciated. Or those people who stumble, they let fear, ego, or straight up overwhelm stop them from taking action. And that's horrible. When you allow your emotions to stop you dead in your tracks. Now, don't get me wrong, we're all allowed to have a bad day. I have bad days. But if you've been following for any length of time, you know that what you do the next day, that's what defines who you are. Are you going to give up or are you going to get shit done? Are you going to take action? Sometimes people say, that won't work in my restaurant. Are you freaking kidding me? How about change that to how could it work in my restaurant? I spend a lot of time working with owners and managers saying, don't tell me why something can't work. Tell me how it can be done. It may be too expensive. It may be too hard to do. It may take too much time. It may change our workflow. We may decide it's not what we're going to do. But how about we start with how can it be done? People who stumble or stop and don't want to do this stuff, they believe their situation is special. And that we're different. We're special. You don't understand, David. We're different. What does that mean? All that is a special mental block that allows you to stop yourself. You use it as an excuse. Isn't it great? I've got this excuse. I don't have to try. I don't have to do something different. I don't have to be uncomfortable. Letting go of your ego, or let's go backwards, letting your ego or fear or even pride block your progress is stupid. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I don't know what I don't know. I pay for coaching every year. I just sign up for another program. Why? Because I don't know what I don't know. And I feel like somebody can teach me something that will move my company forward, then it's worth every penny. But I have to take action. You know, staying stuck in busy work instead of zooming out to learn and improve is not a way to run your restaurant. I'm so busy doing tasks instead of becoming the leader your restaurant needs, working on marketing, budgeting, leading your team, developing your managers, holding them accountable, moving the company forward, working strategically on your business. That's what you do as a leader. You get caught up running to the bank every day and running to Restaurant Depot to buy eggs now because they're insanely expensive and so on and so forth. I can live with one of those, but when you have a long laundry list of shit that you could delegate so you could focus on your business, become the leader your restaurant needs, man, that's hard. Remember, we're talking about what the successful people do, the clues they leave behind that you can follow. So what can you do right now? So here's what I want you to do this weekend. I want you to pick a restaurant that you admire. If you're in my group coaching program, one of maybe the member mentors or somebody who's been deeper into the program. Who do you admire? Are you part of a local restaurant association? You go to meetings? Do you have somebody next door? You've got somebody in your brain right now, man, I'd like to be like that person. What are they doing better than you? Think about it. Because those are the clues of the things you need to do to become better. I want you to think about one leader you respect. What habit or mindset can you model? Tony Robbins has been around a long, long time. He talks about finding successful people and modeling their behavior. That is what we call NLP, neuro-linguistics programming or process. My father, Howard Gray Peters, was a motivational speaker. He was an NLP speaker. That's where I learned this stuff from. But we all know Tony Robbins. You don't know Howard Gray Peters. Find somebody who's successful. Do what they do. Guess what you will be? Successful. How about choose one? Choose one of the 5 clues today and test it out this weekend. Remember, I gave you 5 things, the clues that successful restaurateurs leave behind. Now I want you to write them down. Literally, paper and pencil. I'm a Gen Xer. Don't type this shit up on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet. Like, write it down. There's something about tactile, writing it. If you can still remember how to frickin' write, right? But write it down and then commit. When you put it in writing and you visually see there, you commit to these changes, to these things that you want to do. I want you to do that this weekend. And then I want you to check in with yourself on Monday. What have you done over the weekend to start that process? Look, success is out there. It's not hiding. It's not reserved for the lucky few. You don't need to guess anymore because success leaves clues. You just have to look, learn, and act. So my question to you is, are you paying attention? I will also tell you that if you want support in this journey of becoming a successful restaurateur, I have put up on the screen here, there's a QR code. Use that QR code and get on a call with Ryan James. He's a successful restaurateur. He came into the program struggling with his challenges, took action, became the leader he needed, implemented the systems, trained his people, and now not only has success in his business and only does the things he wants to do, is not a prisoner to it, but he's now helping me help you understand what you need to do in your business and whether our group coaching programs, one of the two, is right for you. So if you want to learn about our program, if you want to just have a casual conversation with Ryan, maybe you want to learn your prime costs, because Ryan is now becoming a prime cost expert, and you can bring your P&L to the call and talk about your prime costs and what you need to do to make change. Because as we talked about last week, the tariff war is coming. And I don't know if you noticed today, I mean, I saw news updates that now the administration is going after French wines. The administration's going after potentially more cars from other countries. It's going to get difficult. And if you don't change what you're doing right now, if you don't adapt and become the leader your restaurant needs, you could struggle. That concludes my portion of Shoot the Shit with DSP. Now, it is time for your questions, and let's see what we got here. Savage says, I have analysis paralysis about attending your seminar this May. Dude, what are you worried about? Ask me questions. I will tell you that nobody does what I do. Now, there are other coaches out there, and we all, cost of goods sold is a freaking math equation. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending is use divided by sales is food costs. None of us do anything different. It's the same shit. But the reality is nobody, and I mean nobody, my claim to fame is nobody presents the most boring information, more real world, exciting, and entertaining than I do. I will have you so motivated to go home and kick ass. And I will give you the frickin' tools. Whether you decide that you want to come into my coaching program or not does not matter. I'm sending you home with the tools that you can implement to make change. And I'm also going to provide you, and be straight up, the opportunity that if you want me and my coaching team to help you get there, if you want to buy speed, if you want to make sure you have accountability, it's there. But I'm going to tell you, I have members who come back over and over and over again. One, the first time through, it was overwhelming. 2, 3, 4 times, they're still writing notes. But what they do is they bring their team with them because they want their team to drink the Kool-Aid. Not the Kool-Aid that kills you, but the Kool-Aid that's a good thing. I'd love to have you there. So let's see if you ask me a question as I look down here. Natalia says, I run a canteen. How can I improve inventory in my business? All right, so when you say canteen, do you have any food? I'm going to assume we're just talking about liquor. But give it to me in the comments so that I know. How can you improve inventory? Well, we're going to do a couple things. Number one, I teach 2 systems, 2 clipboard systems. You can search my YouTube channel and find them. One is the key item tracker, and one is the the waste tracker. The waste tracker we want to look at every single day. We're going to write down anything that was burnt, anything that was thrown away because it's spoiled, something that was a mistake and dropped, like any reason why you wasted product. End of the night, your ninth pan of rice is dead and you're going to throw it away. We write all that stuff down. When you start to see that on a daily basis and you go, hey, let's not make that dumbass mistake again next week or tomorrow even, you'll control your inventory. With the key item tracker, we're going to count 5 to 15 items every single shift to make sure they're not stolen. What we started, what we prepped or purchased, what we ended with against the POS system. That's powerful. Now I'm reducing theft or preventing it, better yet. We want to put ourselves in a position that we have a budget. So I teach a system called the Restaurant Checkbook Guardian that puts your team on a budget that you can give up ordering without giving up your checkbook. We can give them, literally they log in, they fill in the spreadsheet on a daily basis with some basic information, no more than 5 minutes a day. Boom. They go to the next order day and they can say how much money they can spend by category: food, bottled beer, draft beer, wine, liquor. So now I give up ordering without giving my checkbook and have these restrictions of if you're $500 over in food, you can order it 1 penny further. Got to ask me for permission. Go find the problem. Tell me what's wrong. If you want to control your inventory, then we need to get less inventory on the shelves, meaning we need to work on our inventory turns. So I want to be seeing in a calendar month 3 to 4 inventory turns in a typical restaurant. That means you only have 3-4 days worth of food on the shelves on average. That means I've got to implement recipe costing cards so that I can look and see what my ideal versus actual usage is. So I can control and say, oh, I'm overusing chicken. What am I doing wrong in my process? I need a prep system. And somebody making sure that when we prep, we're not over prepping and losing product, but I'm also, when I'm cutting chicken tenders, things like that, it goes into a clear Lexan, not into the garbage, and it gets audited by a kitchen manager or chef on a daily basis that we can see when we have training issues that we're losing money in the trash. That's just a few things off the top of my head. Hopefully those help. There's an awful lot that can be done. Natalia says, yes, you got food. So same stuff. Right? It's whether the kitchen or it's bar. They're the same exact thing. So hopefully that helped. And you said cafeteria. Okay, fantastic. Savage says, you said it. I want my business partner to attend as well, to drink the Kool-Aid, but I doubt he will. I am 99% sure I will go alone first. Take action, right? Yeah, so here's the deal. This is going to be the frustrating part for you. If you've got a partner or somebody on your team who might be a fixed mindset, oh, nobody can help us, too effing smart for themselves that there's nothing you could learn. Dude, I got news for you. I've been doing this for 22 years. I've over 30 years. I'm probably getting close to 40 in the restaurant business because I started washing dishes for my mom underage. I can tell you this, I learn every single day. And if I looked at myself 22 years ago as a restaurant coach, I would laugh at me and go, what the shit do you know? Because I've literally learned from my members every single day. And you just see more and more. I would hope that you can get your partner to come. Now, I want to be very clear. We made a change. You're going to go to my website, davidscottpeters.com, click on the live seminar link at the top. You're going to see that now instead of, I used to make it $1,000 for you and a guest because I wanted to force you to bring the guest. But there's people like you that may not get them there. So I believe we made the change. It's $499. That's it, $499. That's it. Like if you don't get, I used to say at $1,000, you don't get 10 times return on your investment. When you went home, you didn't do shit. So now if you don't get 10 times return on $500, and I'm talking $500 plus your hotel, plus your travel, not your debauchery, that's on you. But the fact of the matter is, I will give you the tools to make incredible change in your business. You can't do anything but win. But how about if your partner doesn't come, you bring a key employee, a manager, somebody to go home with you that will actually put this shit in place with you and help you. But I'd love to have you there. I will also let you know we made one other change. We've added a VIP ticket, of which my understanding is, my team will kill me if I don't remember, but I think by mid-April, you can have that VIP ticket for the $4.99 as a bonus, where you'll get your P&L reviewed by me or Steve Eller on my team. You're going to have a group coaching call before we get there. We're going to give you our 3-day food cost challenge recording, so you can start implementing some of these systems before you get to the seminar and start to see results right away. And we're going to have a VIP happy hour. I'm going to do a social somewhere. It depends on how many people we have in it, whether it's at one of the casinos nearby up north where we are, or it's at a restaurant. But either way, we're working on that. But I'm going to buy the drinks, and you're going to get to meet me, my team, and only the VIP people are invited. You'll have Matt Platt there and his team. It's going to be a great event. So I'd love to have you there. All right, enough commercial from DSP. Does anybody else have any questions for me? We have gone a little bit over. I'm going to double check something here. I'm going to make sure that I have an STS next weekend or next week. I do. I have a Shoot the Shit next week, but I will tell you that I'm leaving Saturday. I speak at Pizza Expo on Sunday. I speak at Pizza Expo on Monday, and then Bar and Restaurant Expo on Wednesday, and headed home. So I will be out of town, but available. Come visit me at one of those shows. You can get to figure out whether my seminars are worth anything, right? Here's the deal. Do it one more double check here before we go. We've got a couple of people here. Let's see here. Mary Deleon says VIP upgrade till April 1st. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Not mid-April. Savage says, oh yeah, VIP. That's what I'm talking about. Have to book by the end of March. Yeah, man. Like I'm trying to do my very best to motivate people to come, because I'm telling you, it will change your world. Savage says, my business partner insists on the owner having to go to the store to buy all the restaurant supplies to save a lot of money. Yesterday, I shopped for 3 hours at 2 stores. What do you think, David? Carlos. If you're saving money by running to the store, you're not spending the time working on budgets, marketing, leading your team. You're not working strategically and thinking 1 year, 3 years, 10 years ahead, and what you need to do to grow your business. You're not focused on marketing. You're focused on just putting out fires. I've got no problem right now when there's a blip in commodities to run, say, and get the eggs at Restaurant Depot. But I want a broadline distributor to drop off 85, 90% of all my goods. I am going to win. I will save more money by working on my business and controlling labor and food costs and working on recipe cards and doing inventory and scheduling on budget and training people and marketing and doing all these things. But you can't. You spent 3 hours chasing your ass. That's my opinion. So that concludes my portion of Shoot the Shit with DSP. I will see you next week. Do me a favor, if you want to learn more about coaching, I'm trying to see, where do I have? It's over there. The QR code. Ryan will teach you about your prime cost, listen to what your challenges are, see what we have is right for you. Otherwise, go visit my website, davidscottpeters.com, click on the live seminar. I'd love to see you. It's May 14th, 15th. So you got plenty of time to plan. And it's Vegas, baby. If I suck, what if I suck? You're in Vegas. Anyway, go out there, kick some ass, everybody. I appreciate you. Peace.